Welcome back to the World Championship Series Europe Premier League. Round of 16, Group B is well underway. In fact, we're all over halfway through. 3/5 if you want to be precise. The losers game has been done, and unfortunately, our co-commentator Todd has fallen. Our comrade is down. The Muslim's back with me as well. We have to mourn the loss of a co-caster from the tournament. He's gone. Put up a good fight though in the end. How did you view that last game? Because the second match was pretty scrappy.
Yeah.
Bit weird if I'm honest, but got through it. Todd won the game, and then you thought, okay, well, anything could happen from here.
It was terribly scrappy actually. For a long time, I thought Yoda was very far ahead, which then the end, Todd's supply started climbing and Yoda started falling, and the whole situation was bizarre. It wasn't one that they were both used to. But third game, Todd started off with something kind of crazy, the double gas steal, but then just didn't have anything to defend the counter push.
Did you see a couple of days ago, actually, it was done in Pro League on the same map by parting. Exactly the same thing. Stole both the gas. He obviously went on to win the game. I just wonder, did Todd see that and thought, that's kind of cool, I'll give that a go?
Probably something entered his mind like that, but
we spent the whole time building him up as he's the safe Protoss. He does things, in regimental style. He doesn't take risks and undue things. And then suddenly we're like, what's he doing? That's crazy.
As soon as you go gold base, you're in a risky kind of game. Like he saw the 2 racks going down, because Terrans can open up with like a racks and a gas very, very quickly and do drops and kind of things. But he saw an opportunity and took total advantage. Maybe he hasn't been in that situation too many times and made a few errors, but these things happen.
It is weird. We've spoken a lot about habitation with him as well, and we've watched a lot of Terrans floating to gold recently as well. So I think he was a bit cautious. He thought, I don't really want to make sure that he hasn't floated over to gold, because if he has, then I'm in trouble early on. So who knows? He's out, unfortunately, and has fallen. It does mean Yoda is the last remaining Terran in the round of 16. We've already seen 4 GG go through yesterday, and Yoda gets one more shot at the round of 8. There's the bracket right now. Welmu versus MC is next. The 2 Protoss kings, I guess you could say, of WCS Europe. Both of them have been in the round of 16 every season since season 2 in 2013. Every single time they've been in the round of 16 at the very least. So an incredible record between both of them.
It's an insane record, and given how crazy these guys play too, they're 2 of the scariest Protosses you can play. Like as a Terran, I don't want to play either one of them. So Yoda waiting in the loser bracket, like it's not like, hey, I hope this guy wins. No, you don't want to play either one.
No, you notice I didn't ask him who he'd like to play, because actually would like to play either of them. Yeah. Map vetoes are underway. It'd be interesting to see what they do pick. Way Station's going to be the first one. What a shock, that's gone. I don't even know if we're going to see that in the round of 16. It's almost a shame, but the only time we've seen it in the round of 32 was mirror matches, so...
It's one of those maps, given that there's 2 very different games that can be played on that, very close positions or very far. It's not one of those things you want to risk, and lots of cheese can be done on that too. And against Zerg, the big map game or the small map game, they never want to play it because it's so different. But
it's funny, 6 times it's been played in the round of 32, only 6 times. 4 of those times it was played in TVT.
Wow, that's a little surprising. I guess it's one of the most standard maps you can have for or not. That's the most standard the map can be for a matchup TVT, but Habitation Station vetoed for Welmu here, so doesn't want any of that gold base going down, like no shenanigans.
Froster's gone as well.
I'd imagine Altazine would go next, but...
I don't know, merry-go-round's not been a particularly... Well, there we go, what do I know?
But still, merry-go-round is an odd map to have in Mirror. There's 3 locations, so if you scout first, your opponent scouts last. You have the ability to see what your opponent's doing. Your opponent does not. Gets kind of awkward there. And first map pick for MC too.
Yeah, merry-go-round for MC, and Welmu is going to probably go King Sejong Station. Indeed he does, and Overgrowth will be the 3rd and final if we need it. What's interesting about those 3 maps is, of course, they're 3 brand new maps in the map pool this season as well. So we haven't got any previous maps that we're used to, Frost, Habitation, or Autism Stronghold. None of those are in this one. That's going to be a fun 3-mapper, potentially.
Yeah, I think we're going to see some different PvP from these boys. Like, I haven't seen them play in a long time, but given how risky and aggressive they play in their other matchups, I can't imagine anything but a crazy series from these 2. They're both very good.
All right, let's talk about the 2 players themselves now. They match up against each other. It's interesting because the current scoreline, head-to-head with Welmu and MC, MC leads 3-2. Now, those 2 that Welmu has were both in the ATC, and they were both in the same day because he beat him twice, 1-0, 1-0. So I don't want to rule it out because it's a fair game. He still won the matches. But when you go back to best of 3 or best of 5, the other 3 matches have all come in WCS matches, and he's lost all 3 of them to MC.
I mean, were they more recent than the ATC
Well,
games?
I mean, when you look back, Challenger League Season 1, MC won 2-1. Group A World Championship Series 3, Series 3 finals. And in that one, he lost 2-1. And then he lost 3-0 in another game, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it was quarterfinals, Season 2.
All in 2013, though. When it comes to recent games, Welmu being 2-0 advantage, that's super. Like, you know, when you go into a series and you win the first 2 games, let's say in a best of 5, the guy that wins the next 2, that's the guy that's got the momentum. That's the guy that's scary. So Welmu here, going into this with like 2-0 very recently, he's not going to feel like overly confident. But earlier on today, Todd kind of said like, oh, how do you feel about PvP? Like, nobody's confident in PvP, right? And Welmu just kind of went, like, he just smirked at him. He just felt very good about it.
And there's a great point that you raised there, because if you look at all of Welmu's matchups, the scariest one he has is PvP. 63.95% of his matches are won in PvP. When you look at his other matchups, they're still good, but they're not great. 58% PvT, 56% PvC. Flip it round to MC, his best matchup is not PvP, it's his worst.
That's very, I find that very weird, because most protesters do say like, oh, it's a random matchup, like not always the better player wins, but Welmu, Welmu's got very good control, and when he chooses a strategy, he's decisive and he goes with it. That's a big thing. He doesn't second guess himself. He doesn't second guess his opponent. He just goes. He's very confident. And in PvP, if you are the confident guy, you're like, hey, I'm gonna go Phoenix, bam. If your opponent kind of like, oh, what am I going to do? And then goes Phoenix, he's behind. So that kind of thing can really help you out. He's a very confident player.
All right, okay. Time to find out if you were a betting man and your house was up for sale right now and you thought, okay, I want to make a potload of cash, where's it going?
And this is if I was a betting man. Okay, good, because I don't own a house. But like
where are you putting your house? It's tough, right?
My head says MC.
Ooh.
And it says 2-1, but my heart says Welmu.
Okay, good choice. Let's find out from the commentary team what they think, because Apollo and Kalaris are waiting to bring you the upper bracket final to decide the first man through from Group B to the round of 8.
All right, Welmu versus MC now, as we find out indeed who gets that first place spot here in Group B, as we have a champion facing off against one of the best Europeans right now, gotta say.
Europe versus Korea, baby, at its finest. We've got the Boss Toss, the ranked #1 player in the world within the WCS, and he's one of Korea's finest, of course. I mean, the highest earning StarCraft 2 player there is. Period. Nothing else to say. And then you got Welmu, who over the years has become stronger and stronger as a player. Started off good, better, even better, super better today.
Wow. What a summing up of that guy right there.
This game.
All right, let's get into it. Spawning up to the top left-hand corner, we have our red Protoss. He's currently the WCS Europe champion. He is MC.
Feeling the heat. I see sweat.
It's going to have to against this guy, spawning in the 6 o'clock position as our blue Protoss. Representing Neurosoft, it's Welmu.
It is time. I'm really bad at Finnish accents.
The Finns never feel the heat because they love sauna. They never sweat. Quite a lot, but they're used to it, so it's okay.
Both players very consistent with consecutive performances in very different ways. MC has been in Premier League every single time, has got to the final. Every single time.
That's pretty consistent.
That is the best.
Yeah.
Welmu, it's his 4th time in the round of 16. That's pretty good as well.
Yeah, that's pretty consistent too. Yeah.
And he may repeat deeper than that because he got top 8 last time. Could do it again here.
Yeah. One thing's for sure, though, is that this season is more stacked than any other season that we've seen so far in WCS Europe. So, if he's able to breach in as a first-place seed going into that round of 8, that's going to give him a little bit of an advantage. You've got to remember that the first-place seeds from these groups gets matched up against a second-place finisher in these groups, which is a little bit of a helping hand there over in the next round.
Right, of course, yeah. Do you think there is a better European Protoss than Welmu currently?
No.
All right, fine and fast answer. Okay. That was swift. All right, no problem.
I'm guessing you didn't expect that to
Didn't expect you straight to say no. So all right, that's fine. Of course, Welmu did go through the Muslim and Stefano in the round of 32, 2 games to 1 apiece. When Welmu's able to play and practice, he is very good. He struggles from a lot of different things that hold him back, mostly his health, as he was meant to be competing at Home Story Cup this past weekend and couldn't attend due to health issues, but was able to scrape through and make it here today. He didn't practice in the last couple of days, though, unfortunately, and has only had today to grind it out. So as good as he is, he's not quite on his regular form, let's say. But on the flip side, MC definitely has ups and downs when he plays against other Protoss players.
Yeah, he does. And he's always, he's always been more the assertive guy than anything. How about yourself in terms of non-Korean Protoss in Europe right now? Do you think Welmu is that guy? Do you think he is there?
Currently, yeah. The only other the people that come close, Harson's starting to get better and better and better. Yeah. Grubby's a good representation when he's playing well as well. But, rip Naniwa.
Yeah, maybe he'll come back at some point. But for now, we have basically the king of Europe playing. It's MC. This guy has been there constantly in those finals. He is once again looking to get to that spot, and we have these builds developing.
Yeah, pretty much identical builds, apart from the different tech choices. I mean, you've got the classic Stalker Mothership Core out for both, and the second Stalker here, but then the different in tech choice, which is actually going over towards Twilight Council and Stargate. Twilight Council, I think, is a little bit better here. The speed they're going through. I mean, what is the Stargate going to give you? A Phoenix? Oracles? Both could be hit by a counter with Blink, with Mothership Core for defense. So overall, I think that Welmu's drawn the better end of the deal here. What are these Phoenix going to do if Welmu starts to get aggressive? Are they going to pick up slowly?
Yeah, it's going to take a while. I mean, they tank a little bit of damage against lower Stalker numbers, but once they gather up, and this Mothership Core, bold as ever.
Gotta recall. Goes in, gets the Stargate Scout, gets Air Probe kill, and peace. Bye-bye. See you later. But now Welmu knows that he doesn't need any detection. He's playing against Stargate play. What does he do now? Does he look to expand off this? Does he get aggressive off this? He's got a probe and pylon up there. I think if he sits back with his units for now, waits until his Mothership Core builds up energy, or close to 100, and continues to produce Stalkers and doesn't lose the Mothership, I think then is the time to pounce. Maybe once his Mothership Core can protect himself at home, then strike. Well, he's going to strike earlier, actually, with 3 Stalkers alone.
That's very quick. Very, very quick. He has to be careful about
has
this.
3 Stalkers here. Blink's not ready. He doesn't want to reveal these too fast. It's too quick for that.
Yeah. And it takes so much time, and it leaves him so vulnerable if he was to bring the other Stalkers over as well. So this is going to be difficult for him to work out. MC already reacted in time, well, technically, with the Robo facility as soon as he saw the build of his opponent.
Welmu's not messing around. He's going to keep 3 Stalkers with the Mothership Core at home, and then the rest is going to be aggressive here. So we're up to 6 Stalkers now. MC spots this with a probe. He has a force field available and Stalkers to use.
Can easily blink out of there. That denies one of the force fields from being used later on.
MC has to abandon this ramp, I think, and start to get an Immortal out and sit within his Photon Overcharge.
It's going to take a little while. He needs the gas. He's just been out banks up the 100, so it instantly starts that Immortal, knowing that...
He's got to be careful here.
Time is against him. That's a lot of Stalkers, actually. 9 Stalkers. Blinks in aggressively. He's in range of the Photon Overcharge for a little bit, but he gets a few units at the cost of just 1 Stalker.
Yeah, he should have backed off earlier. He should have abandoned the ramp earlier. And that's a win there for Welmu. But the Immortal's on its way out. But there's going to be more Stalkers. And to be honest, those 3 Stalkers at home for Welmu might as well blink themselves across the map and come help out here. Yeah, they're going to go over. This is definitely a decent position for Welmu. MC needs at least 2 Immortals against this.
MC thankfully had quite a few pylons down during that, so even losing that first pylon, he didn't really hit any supply blocks or anything like that. He's blinking out, realizing that those 3 Phoenix are a threat. If he gets units isolated,
and there's a lot of lifts on them, man.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so he's got to be careful.
He's going to try and cut up the Immortals. He's got a couple of sentries in here. Of course, if MC goes down the ramp, he can cut that up as well.
This is ambitious. The execution needs to be good.
Bit of hit point damage.
Yeah.
Second Immortal's out, though.
Again, those Phoenix, they tank so much there.
If MC comes down that ramp, he could be in trouble. Great counter warping, though.
Going down that ramp is basically suicide at this point.
Yes, it is, but Welmu may try to bait him out.
Yeah. He's like, oh, there's only 3 Stalkers there. Haha, only 3 Stalkers.
Yeah, but MC doesn't need to go. He just sits in his main base while doing damage with his Zealots, and Phoenix is here.
Fortune overcharge.
Oh, he's down the ramp. Oh, I said that, but he's down the ramp.
He's actually going to go for this. Where the force fields, he actually has to pull back a little bit of that, but that's a lot of Stalkers that he has here. They are caught between that pylon there, though, and a bit of that architecture. So not exactly the most amazing control, but if he starts focusing down those Immortals, he's going to try and focus down both of them at the same time. With those Stalkers, he brings them both down. That's a lot of the firepower lost here for MC.
And that, Kalaris, maybe that.
Wow. Wow.
Europe!
Oh, blinks onto the ramp. GG. Welmu takes game number 1. Fast and Furious PvP here in the first map.
Welmu. Whoa. Whoa, what just came out your mouth?
I mean, it was kind of like a little song, so I was running with it. Okay.
Wow. Welmu.
That's how they sing in Finland. Trust me. I think. Anyway, so MC now staring down the barrel.
Yeah, he didn't need to go down that early.
Yeah, that was...
He could have waited. If you think about it, they're both on one base. They both have an army. One is currently stronger than the other, but the longer the game goes, the other army actually becomes stronger than the one that's currently the strongest. So there's no reason to go down there, unless he thought that Welmu was backing out from being aggressive, but Welmu was waiting, and MC got caught. He could have continued with his Phoenixes and Zealots on the other side, building another more tools, but whatever.
Nice little tricky play. Nice little tricky play, luring him down there. And again, you know, very rare you see 2 Immortals fall at exactly the same time in this matchup. Normally all those Stalkers blink right on top of one of them and bring them down. I think whatever the case would have been there in that first game, with the army going down, Welmu had a fantastic shot at taking it, and indeed he did. Second map is going to be King Sejon Station between these two, and Welmu is 1 game away from the round of 8.
Yes, he is. It is time, Kalaris.
That was epic.
For Welmu to take his rightful place in the round of 8.
Whoa. All right. Spawning down to the bottom right-hand corner, we have our red Protoss. He fell in game number 1. He's our WCS Europe champion. It is MC. And up to the top left, we have the Finnish phenom himself, representing NRS. It is Welmu.
How do you say in Finnish, for Finland?
Done.
Like go Finland, for Finland. What's the name of the country in Finnish?
Suomi.
So then what's go or for or...
I can't remember. People would just normally cheer Suomi, Suomi.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Suomi?
like yeah, like when they beat Sweden, for example, in ice hockey, they would all do that. Maybe my pronunciation's wrong, but it sounds all right.
All right, okay. Well, I'm going to trust in you.
Yeah.
Suomi. And we'll see if the Suomi Protoss is able to continue on here. I probably just said the Finland Protoss, but whatever.
Yeah, sir. Yeah.
All right, so how is Welmu... I'm not going to focus on MC. How is Welmu going to look to close this out? Does he... Because I think Welmu's the type of player who will look to close it out more so than look to, yeah, let's play a 20-minute game and then I'll look for a win there. I think he'd be looking to close it out. DT build, maybe go Stargate himself. I don't know.
I think he probably would look for the closeout as well. I mean, Welmu's the kind of guy that we already saw in game number 1. If he sees an opportunity, he will pounce on it. Almost literally there with the Blink Stalkers in game 1,
right.
Fully enough. So we could see something like that again. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we actually just saw Blink again from him. It worked wonders in game number 1.
Blink is good on this map.
Yeah,
sure.
it is.
For sure.
You're used to defeat Yoda, but a bit of a different kettle of fish here in this matchup.
MC scouting out towards the 3rd there in case, and his natural, sorry, in case there were any proxy gateways coming out from the boss toss. MC, on the other hand, though, did scout within his main, but has made a beeline towards his opponent's base. And we'll be looking to get some more info coming in. But yeah, we'll see. Gases are very similar, at 200 bit pretty much there. Pretty much identical. And same units, tab, and upgrades, or yeah, you do call it an upgrade, won't get research.
Yeah, it's true. It almost seems it's just something you see all the time, so you never really even care anymore. Like there's no disadvantage of having it, right? So
Here is the choice. Time for the choices. Come on, boys. Load them up.
Twilight versus Twilight.
All right. Let's just put it straight out there and obvious for all of you. If one player goes DT versus Blink and the other guy does not get a Robo, it's an instant win. The most of the time, though, this is going to be Blink versus Blink. And if it is Blink versus Blink, it will actually go into a longer game. You both have the same units. You can't actually do anything to capitalize with a high unit count because, like I just said, you have the same units. So this is the one interesting part between the two of them. MC spotted this out there, but did get spotted by the... Wait, is that a probe in the bottom left?
It is, yeah, but it hasn't thrown down a pylon,
No, okay.
so...
It is DT!
But Welmu normally throws down a good timed Robo.
Well,
like if
he didn't in the last game. So, but this is here.
yeah.
MC needs to keep that away, and he gets his Stalker in. And Welmu gets pushed back. Nice defense there
Ooh.
from MC.
Could poke in again, though, if he wants.
He might swing around here. MC's got to be careful because Welmu, without a robotics facility currently, as I say, he puts it down. So it would have been an instant win for the boss toss, but now it's different. Wow.
Ding, 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 ding.
Welmu.
He's doing well for himself, that's for sure.
Yeah, that was a great scout. And he knows now to play defensive from this. Obviously, get the robotics facility with an observer out, look for a pylon around his base. And I'm pretty sure this will both, again, be an expansion build for both of them here. MC says, all right. Damn.
Yeah, that's the council.
Damn.
A lot of wasted opportunity cost there for MC, as Welmu right now is just behind this, finishing up his blink.
If Welmu is thinking that MC's cancelled this, I'm going to lose my mind. He's actually on the other side of the map warping in units. And right now, MC is quite far behind in units himself. If Welmu is predicting the outcome of what happens once this is scouted, that it gets cancelled and then goes towards an expansion, he comes in, capitalizes on that, breaks the expansion, goes home 2 base versus 1, he's a god. And well, technically I say 2 base versus 1, I mean he doesn't have a base yet, but he could easily put it down. But I think MC's okay on 1 base, but breaking this natural's big. It's a big move.
With the timing of how all the gas worked out for MC, and now that his Robo is only just finished, and an observer coming out for him as well, MC is being duped here.
MC's got to be very careful.
Oh, he's going to wait just out of range because he doesn't know. Ooh, oh, well.
He knows now, so this is a cancel. It's,
Yeah, it's just going to go. Oh, he blinks straight on up there.
MC lets it come in, though. He's got the photon overcharge.
Yeah, that's going to provide a lot of firepower. Probes come off the line. He needs to get out of the range of that.
Yeah, all the probes off is bad here. And MC actually keeps the Nexus alive on the natural. And Immortal's being built here. Welmu is going for this. And he's actually dedicating all his resources to it. He's just going to not fall back and expand. He's going to try and win now. The problem is, though, Blink is not far away for MC, and he has Immortal production.
Yeah. It's going to be really difficult to continue breaking this. The Immortals just caused such a huge problem to this army. It's going to be critical mass Blink Stalkers hoping that they can control properly.
I'm not sure how that will work.
Yeah. Well, he can try and sit around and wait for these photon overcharges to dissipate, but he's going to poke away at the Nexus.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think he's going to be able to break this. Another Immortal's on the way, and 2 Immortals is really good here considering the Stalker count with Blink.
Yeah.
I don't think this can work for Welmu, I'm sorry.
Army supply is slightly in his favor. 8 supply in his favor, in fact.
But if he doesn't break it, he's going to go for the jump, and he gets one of the Immortals.
All right, that falls down. How many are we doing? 16 Stalkers, 15 now against 9. That second Immortal reinforcing is going to make a big difference, but it's not firing.
Yeah, it hasn't fired yet.
He needs to really get that into a right position. Technically, Welmu has a fantastic concave here against this. His Blink Stalkers, if he controls correctly, is going to absolutely overwhelm MC. The position MC's army was in was just terrible for him to be taking this engagement.
MC couldn't get the second Immortal in.
Oh, wow. Welmu. He's dancing his units as well. He knows the position he's in.
Kid got swagger, man, dancing those Stalkers against the boss toss. The other Immortal pops, and I'm sure MC's not very happy about this. But, oh, boy.
Oh, army supply vastly superior here for Welmu. GG. He defeats the WCS Europe champion and advances on to the round of 8 without even breaking a sweat.
Congratulations to Welmu. Well done. And immediately, He has a quick look at who's saying what and what victory song he was playing. Well done, Welmu. Really good series there. And I mean, he kind of shows everybody that MC is still incredibly weak within PvP and definitely not his strongest matchup right now. Europe. Once again, another European player advances through. Welmu first place and another top 8 finish for him. Back-to-back top 8 finishes now. Really, really well done.
You bring up a good point, though. I mean, this battle in the round of 16, it happened in the round of 32. We saw Europe versus Korea ensue there. And now in the round of 16, it continues to rage on. But who would have expected to see the WCS Europe champion representing Korea fall here to Welmu in the round of 16? That was very impressive stuff.
Yeah, he got beat up quite hard there, and that's not easy to take in for MC, of course. You can see on screen. He now must go up against a teammate, or housemate, should I say, in Yoda, which I know he's very confident in this series. So I think that MC's, thinking and worrying now is first of all looking at the replays, but more importantly, like, how did I lose that game? How did I not go through in first place? More so than, oh no, I have to play Yoda next.
All right. Well, without further ado, guys, let's hear from the winner here in Group B, advancing on to the round of 8, Mr. Neurosoft's Welmu.
When you went to bed last night, after witnessing some horrific storms, and you landed obviously through those storms, so I know you were, you're like, blimey, what's going on in Cologne right now? When you went to bed, did your dream include 2-0 wins against MC and Yoda?
I was just thinking that it would be nice to get out first, so I don't have to lose and then have to play one more game. That would be annoying. So I just thought that would be nice to win just 2 games and advance. So it went like that.
It did go like that. 2-0, 2-0. Absolutely fantastic. Talk us through the matches with MC. Well, the first map, you were very aggressive. We know you can be aggressive, but was that your plan from the get-go? You just wanted to get in his face?
It was just because I scouted his target. I scouted he has target and I was going blink. And then I can force some pressure with blink and possibly contain him at the ramp and get a kind of good position. And yeah, then he tried to go down the ramp. I a little bit faked my units go a little bit down, so he would come down, and he came down, and I just killed everything. And yeah, second game was a little bit similar. I go blink again and be aggressive, and he doesn't have enough, and yeah.
Pretty straightforward in the end. You make it sound it's straightforward, but it really isn't. Playing the boss toss, he's the defending European champion.
Yeah, there is a lot of small details that are going in game, but I'm not going to those. But yeah, it's not as simple as it may look. Yeah.
Okay, so where do you go from here? Round of 8 again, that's fantastic, brilliant. We saw what you did in last season. You got to round of 8, but it didn't go very well in the round of 8. So what are you going to do differently this season?
Well, I will just win. Last time I was playing round of 8, I wasn't so used to since it was best of 5, and last time I was chilling a little bit too much. I wasn't focused enough on the game, so I made some stupid mistakes. But this time I have learned my lesson and will advance to top 4 this time at least. It
seems like every season you come back, you become more confident, you're more chilled, you're having more fun as well. I remember the very first time we spoke, you were super nervous, you weren't sure what was going on. You seem to grow with confidence every time you come back to WCS, and that seems to help you as well.
Yeah, actually you can see it when I can see it when I play. Now when I'm playing, before it feels completely different when you're playing, but now I'm so used to it. It feels almost like you're playing from home. It gets very comfortable when you have more experience playing, especially on this stage.
When we talk as commentators and hosts, when we talk about the best non-Koreans, we rarely mention you. We talk about Snoot and we talk about Vortex and we talk about Baby Night in the past as well. Where do you think you rank right now outside of the Koreans?
Well, I think result-wise, I think you could say maybe top 5. Okay. Yeah, I like to just look at the results, not actually how the guy is playing, since the results is the only thing that matters. So maybe top 5.
Anyone in particular you don't want to play in the quarterfinals? Anyone you'd like to play?
I can't remember who are playing.
We have Vortex and 4GG are through so far, but there's still 2 more groups to go.
Well, would be nice to play some Korean, so I would like to avoid Vortex at least. So I seem to do better against Koreans, so yeah, hopefully Korean.
Hopefully a Korean. That's what that's what Welmu wants for his Protoss army in the quarterfinals. He is through to the round of 8 after a thumping victory against the European champion. One more spot remains in Group B. We'll find out who it's going to be. It's going to be a team kill. We'll find out after the break.